Okay, so for whatever reason, you and budgets just don't mix. It's like putting gummy bears on a hamburger. It's just like, it's not right. It's not right, and it's feeling super hard and frustrating, and you want to make real progress. So luckily for you, I've got some answers in this video as to how you can change your relationship with budgeting. Stick around. Hey fam, welcome back to the Debt-Free Millennials channel. I'm your host, Justine. Here we talk about all ways to help you achieve financial confidence, crush debt that leads to more fun and fewer payments. Thank you so much to Rocket Money for sponsoring today's video. Rocket Money is an app that can help you cancel subscriptions, lower your bills, and manage your money all in one app, but more on that later. Let's get into this list of like why sticking to a budget seems really freaking hard. The first reason is you overcomplicate the budget system. So instead of having one simple category, you start breaking it up into all these little miniature subcategories, and then you're trying to look at your transactions and put them into the right categories, and it's just taking a long time. For example, restaurants. So restaurants, we could break that down into coffee shops, bars, actual restaurants, fast food. You get the idea. When you are over type A-ing it, we got some issues because it's just gonna take you a really long time to put your budget in place, especially for my type B folks who are just like simple. I wanna set it, forget it, not forget it, but set it and really make sure that this is something I'm going to be consistent with. You want simplicity. You want a simple budgeting tool that is going to help you with all of those things. And luckily, I've got just the app for you. Rocket Money is an all-in-one money management tool, and what I really love about this app is that it can negotiate your bills on your behalf. Think about it, all those times where you've gotten a bill in the mail and then all of a sudden you thought what was normally $60 every single month is now $75, and you're like, what happened? Nothing. My internet is still the same speed. Why am I paying more for same speed internet? You can do this with your internet company. You can do this with your cell phone company. Lower your bills, negotiate your bills using Rocket Money. I actually did this back in the day where I had to call up the internet company myself and try to negotiate and lower the bill. When you use Rocket Money's concierge service, it actually saves you time and headache out of your busy day, making you more productive. And talk about like uncomplicating some of your money management practices. It can help you locate and cancel subscriptions on your behalf. Think about all the monthly subscriptions that you might have that you kind of forget about. Well, Rocket Money can actually go through, scan through all of your transactions and figure out exactly what subscriptions you have so that you can get them canceled if you're not using them, saving you money. In fact, Rocket Money has helped its customers save up to $740 in the year while using the app's premium features, helping its customers with over $500 million saved in canceled subscriptions. So not only can it find and handle your subscriptions, negotiate your bills, but it also can help you spot spending patterns inside of your monthly budget, help you organize things, keep it simple, keep it accessible on your phone. Talk about simple and not overcomplicating things. This is definitely one you want to check out. Try Rocket Money now by heading over to rocketmoney.com/debt-free-millennials to get better with your finances. So when budgeting feels really hard, it's probably because you haven't prioritized your cash flow. If you haven't exactly told your money where to go, it's going to go towards the path of least resistance. And for you, that's going to be your spending indulgences. That's going to be the path of least resistance because you're like, yes, I love spending money on that thing. And then all of a sudden, it's not actually reflecting your real, true financial goals that you want to accomplish. Think about money being energy, okay? Money is a ball of energy. It's moving in, out, to and from, and you want to make sure that that money is given direction. If you try to move it in all sorts of different ways, it's just going to be a hot mess. When you channel that money into one primary direction, you give it focus. So remember those foundational finance priorities. If you've been following the channel, then you know I've talked about financially prioritizing things. Starting with the budget, that's why you're here. I know there's a reason why you clicked on this video and why I'm making this video. Creating the budget, creating and really funding your starter emergency fund of 2 to 3 months of basic living expenses. We're going to create a robust debt payoff plan that has you debt free in less than 5 years. That's always my goal for you. It's like good, better, best. My good goal for your debt free plan is 5 years. My better goal for you is 3 years. In 3 years, I'm going to get you debt free. And then best is anything less than 3 years is going to be amazing. So that's another foundational priority for you. The next one would be a fully funded emergency fund of at least 6 months of living expenses or more. We're also simultaneously working on short and midterm savings goals and our long-term and investing goals. Once you have that, those 6 items, which we're going to show here on screen, if you have those priorities in order and you are cash flowing it using your budgeting system, you're solid. We've replaced the gummy worms on the burger with like bacon and cheese and pickles. I'm hungry now. Okay, so sticking to a budget seems really insanely hard because your budget plan is unrealistic. So often I've seen people under budget certain categories and they feel like they're overspending on their budget even though they've set the plan and they're like, this is how much I'm gonna spend, and at the end of the month they've completely blown it out of the water. Too many times have I seen people underfund and under budget categories like restaurants, shopping, filling up their car with gas. There's a really simple way to fix that so that you are budgeting realistically for those categories, and that's by doing a spending audit. A spending audit is where you take a look and review the last 3 months of spending for that particular expense. So if we're looking at how many times you've filled up your car with gas, we're only looking at gas expenses inside of your credit card statement and your bank account statement, and then we're going to take an average of the last 3 months of spending for that particular category. And then now we know, okay, I thought I was spending $100 a month in gas filling up, but holy shit, I'm actually spending $256, whatever that number is. Now we can realistically plan for that inside of our budget and really get to know our numbers on a much more personal level. I think one of the biggest reasons why people think budgeting seems really, really hard is because they don't check in on their budget often enough, especially if this is your first time budgeting ever. I mean, we've heard it time and time again, like budgeting is the adult thing to do. It's what the professionals do. I mean, that's what like gives us this, we've graduated from being a kid to actually adulting, and it's not as simple as creating the budget and then continuing to live our lives. No, we still have to go in and check. We have to consistently do those check-ins and hold ourselves accountable to how we're spending to make sure that we're hitting our financial goals. I want you to buy the new car. I want you to buy your new house. I want you to spend money on vacation. I want you to retire early. Whatever your financial goals may be, in order to hit those financial goals, would it make sense? Would it be ridiculous if we went back to the budget maybe a few more times than every other month or every quarter? If this is your first time really truly budgeting, or even trying out a new budgeting system like Rocket Money, let's check in every couple of days and really let's do at least a 2-week challenge where we're checking in with ourselves and saying, okay, this is what I set for my budget, and this is how much I've spent, and this is how much money I have left over for that particular budget. Because here's the thing, if you don't actually check in with your spending and you're not actually doing it time and time again, your spending impacts your goals. And if you are not hitting your goals, then the whole idea of budgeting is just simply a waste of time. We need to check in with our spending in order to make sure that we are hitting and accomplishing the things that we want in our lives. Okay, so we want sticking to a budget to be simple, uncomplicated, something that naturally fits into your weekly routine. So your budget tips for success here is number 1, keep your budget method simple. Keep it simple. You may have to try out a few different budgeting tools or methods in order to figure out what vibes with your brain, because I want it to work for your brain. and we want to keep it simple. Number 2, set those financial priority goals. We went over that list of financial priorities and what I recommend you do so and in what order. Number 3, set realistic amounts for each of your budget categories. And number 4, check in on your budget consistently and frequently, especially if you're setting up your budget for the very first time and you're a new budgeter. Thank you to Rocket Money for sponsoring today's video. If you want to try Rocket Money and start simplifying things with your budget, head over to rocketmoney.com/debt-free millennials to get started, and I'll catch you in the next video.